متحد شوي دي او د اسلام او مسلمانانو د خرابولو او ورکولو ورا کوشش کوي.
الحمد لله. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله.
Urgent. People trapped on the 101 floor and the 102 floor. Manhattan received.
It does have the earmarks of an Osama bin Laden attack.
I'm on the 83rd floor. I'm gonna die, aren't I? No. I'm gonna die. Ma'am, say your prayers. We're gonna think positive because you gotta help each other get off the floor. I'm now.
On September the 11th, enemies of freedom committed an act of war against our country. Americans are asking, who attacked our country? The evidence we have gathered all points to a collection of loosely affiliated terrorist organizations known as Al-Qaeda. On my orders, the United States military has begun strikes against Al-Qaeda terrorist training camps and military installations of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan.
American-led military attacks against targets throughout Afghanistan continue tonight.
These attacks are far from over.
It was fairly well known that Afghanistan was a lawless haven for terrorists. We needed a secure environment from which to infiltrate in Afghanistan.
October 19th,
on a moonless night, U.S. ground forces draw first blood in Afghanistan.
Under the direction of the President, Special Operations Forces, including U.S. Army Rangers, deployed to Afghanistan. They attacked and destroyed targets associated with terrorist activity and Taliban command and control.
That same night, 300 miles to the north, two Special Forces A teams, each with about a dozen men, are secretly dropped onto remote mountainsides to establish the U.S. military's first contact with a group of Afghan warlords.
It was very surrealistic. We landed in a flat river wash. We got off the helicopters, and it was game time.
November 25th. After their sweeping victories in the north, anti-Taliban forces surround the city of Khanduz. It falls, creating the largest mass surrender of the war.
The Taliban really didn't know what to do because we showed up in their backyards. We can't believe it. It was just so quick that they collapsed and began falling back. It was like the liberation of France.
November 13th. Incredible 24-hour period. 3 major cities fall. Herat in the west, Tahlequan in the north, and finally the capital, Kabul. The prisoners, mostly Al-Qaeda, are trucked to an old fortress near Mazar-e Sharif.
There was really no confinement facilities for 600 prisoners. So out of a list of very bad options, Kalai Jangi was the least worst option.
As CIA agent Mike Spann and Special Forces begin interrogating them, suddenly there is gunfire.
Prisoners were rioting and had taken over the prison, and that we needed to come quickly. That first afternoon, we called in for 8 JDAMs to be dropped.
They're about ready to drop. Pull back at this time.
Hey guys, get out.
Roger, be advised at this time, there are Taliban inside that. Right now, we got the airplanes on that target first, over.
We need gun runs on those structures. Copy.
The prison revolt is put down, with U.S. airstrikes pounding the prison fortress.
By November 30th, Al-Qaeda and bin Laden are held up at the caves at Tora Bora.
Some of Osama bin Laden's Al-Qaeda forces kept their promise to fight to the death. Backed by tank fire and intense overnight U.S. airstrikes, bin Laden's die-hard fighters fled the network of caves which had been their hiding places.
Incredible bombing, furious bombing today from the U.S. Air Armada, pounding the last remaining valley held by Osama bin Laden.
In less than 36 hours, Afghan troops have made remarkable progress, seizing many of these caves. The problem is no one knows how many more caves there are or where they are. And no one knows where the Al-Qaeda fighters are.
Bin Laden and most of the Al-Qaeda fighters escape. Despite the failure to capture bin Laden, the invasion is a coalition success. The Taliban have been ousted from power, and now the Allies begin counterinsurgency operations.
We did it faster than I would have thought. Those young men on the A teams just did a spectacular job.
The Taliban are still at large, hidden in the mountains bordering Pakistan. The ISAF begins helicopter assaults to hunt and kill them.
18, 19, 20-year-old kids, you know, and we all have the same look, like, here we go, you know? Here we go.
We were the first infantry unit to be deployed, and we were happy about it, especially coming from New York.
These missions follow the same principle as the search and destroy tactic from the Vietnam War. Campaigns like Operation Anaconda attempt to dislodge Taliban forces in the mountains.
At one point during the fight, I had a young private, 17 years old. He has no business being in combat. He's a kid. I'm like, well, Menard, what the hell are you looking at? He's like, I'm scared, Sergeant Pete. 17 years old. I can't imagine a 17-year-old going through that hell.
Alpine warfare like this is tedious and brutal. The coalition must root out the Taliban one by one. Even though these operations see initial success, the Taliban are never truly defeated. In 2003, the war in Iraq takes the center stage, taking attention away from Afghanistan.
Afghanistan had become sort of yesterday's news. You have this discrepancy between the most important thing that's ever happened to you in your life and the fact that you had to dig to page 18 of the New York Times to find any information about Afghanistan.
After the invasion, 36 countries come to the aid of the United States. NATO allies like Britain, France, Canada, and Germany all deploy troops.
As of 2006, British and Canadian forces control Helmand-Provence,
the birthplace of the Taliban. The coalition launches Operation Medusa, with the objective of pushing Taliban forces out of Helmand and providing government aid and projects for civilians. Canada will be at the forefront.
We knew there was concentration of enemy in there, but there was no indication up to that point the numbers were as great as what materialized. The commander of NATO took me aside and said, Omer, if Medusa fails, NATO fails.
Operation Medusa is the first large-scale NATO offensive in the country. On September 6, 2006, Canada launches the attack.
We lost 4 soldiers killed almost within the first minutes of the attack and a number of soldiers wounded.
Hey, 1-1, we are in trouble here. We will make up best speed to get your casualties back to Wilson.
We're here in the severity of the fire, and we start hearing about the casualties.
Hey, boys. Who's that? Don't do me!
I had a number of guys who needed medical attention right away. It just seemed pointless to continue to reinforce a position when we were going in blind.
We're on final now.
The Apaches are mopping up right now.
Okay, understand.
NATO forces successfully dislodge the Taliban. However, they fail to secure the area, highlighting the difficulties of counterinsurgency operations.
The conflict in Iraq is the one we hear most about, and yet just 900 miles away in Afghanistan, some 25,000 American troops are fighting and dying. In this year alone, 100 American soldiers have been killed, amid reports that the Taliban is resurgent in the hills and valleys of northeastern Afghanistan.
Well, we flew around for about half hour, 45 minutes above the top. And you're just looking down and you're like, this is in the middle of nowhere. You're away from everything.
Honestly, when I first got to the Korengal, I was like, my mindset was like, oh snap, I'm gonna die here.
We're getting off the bird, walking up the hill. I'm thinking, what are we doing?
The call to prayer at sunrise in the Korengal Valley of Afghanistan for U.S. troops going after the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, searching for Osama bin Laden. This is the forward point.
I always wondered why I was in the Korengal, but we were in the Korengal because we were able to take the fight, I think, away from cities like Jalalabad. When you get told that the bigger mission is that, hey, you're not in the Korengal to go and hunt the bad guys, you're in the Korengal so the bad guys come to you and you kill them.
I've reached the area where the building's supposed to meet. I'm going to go ahead and have the guys start pushing out, set up security in this area.
I need you to bound back. Where is it coming from, though? Up there. Okay. Look, soil's down there. Roger. All right? Lead element, stand by where you're at. They're getting closer. They're getting more effective fire on 2-3 Bravo. They are? Yeah. 2-6, you're going to do the drop in like 30 seconds. Let your boys know.
I think the reputation holds up in the sense that this place is a very volatile, kinetic place. It's very unpredictable what the enemy's going to do because they're always trying new tactics on us.
Roger, on copy. Danger close.
They'd ambush us at 360 degrees.
The first 3 months that we were there, we got shot at every single day, multiple times a day. I never saw the enemy close up, face to face.
Hey, Roger, I'm up here by 054 and we're scanning. And if we have to, we'll move to contact. I got myself, Regal, and Thomas over here. Roger, over. Hey, I'm about to find this bastard and I'm gonna kill him over.
Hang it! Fire!
April 2010, the U.S. military ends combat operations in the Korengal, stopping the 5-year campaign. The U.S. military has failed to pacify the region. To combat the flow of Taliban fighters in and out of the country, outposts are established on their supply routes. The goal is to stop the Taliban from moving.
That's where we're probably gonna get attacked from.
Oh, yeah, there's one of the Death Mountains. Of course, that one way up there probably not gonna help either.
No, but we'll probably see them coming.
Maybe.
Maybe.
They probably live in the mountain.
And those are snipers.
They're gonna pop out and fucking kill us all.
Fucking Vietnamese and shit.
Then we got this piece of shit village down the road that's...
So this is what, day...
This is day 4 of fucking Hill Wanat. Fucking nowhere.
Just stick in my mouth.
So they're trying to make us walk 4 days. Actually 5 days before going home.
Fucking hot. We're in a dirt hole.
You know, we land on the ground and you look up and you're surrounded by mountains and everybody's initial response is, what the fuck are we doing here? The location that we were in was a fishbowl. The position we were in was later described as tactically indefensible. I think that location cannot be summarized more truthfully than that statement, tactically indefensible.
Outposts at places like Wanat and Khanjar are surrounded by towering mountains. The bases are completely exposed. And between 2008 and 2009, the Taliban launched 2 major attacks on the bases.
Target, a remote U.S. outpost in Wanat. The date, July 13th, 2008.
Over 300 fighters stormed the camp.
And then, as dawn breaks, the assault begins with a hail of gunfire.
Essentially, we were outnumbered 7-1 or 8-1.
The amount of gunfire that was coming in was not normal. It just sounded like 100 machine guns pouring into the cop that morning.
150 Taliban fighters dispersed in 30 groups of 5 against a few dozen U.S. and Afghan soldiers. This is one of the deadliest attacks of the war. Gunfire and rocket-propelled grenades set the outpost on fire. U.S. troops are pinned down around their Humvees.
9-1, how many rounds? 8 more rounds. 9-1, let's go, let's go.
After a bloody day-long firefight, American air support was finally able to break the siege and drive off the insurgents.
The fighting finally ends. 9 Americans are dead.
The battles of Wanat and Khanjar are the single highest loss of life in a single engagement in Afghanistan.
The weekend's heavy losses highlight a problem the U.S. is struggling to deal with. Under the new strategy, American forces will abandon isolated combat outposts that are just too difficult to defend. The tragedy here is 8 U.S. soldiers died fighting for an outpost that was going to close down anyway.
As Harry told us earlier, American Marines launched a ground offensive this morning in southern Afghanistan. The Marines are hoping to gain control of a strategically critical town long occupied by the Taliban before next week's presidential election.
Make no mistake, we're experts in the application of violence. We are attacking to seize control of the population from the Taliban. 40 or 50 years from now, when you're sitting around with your grandchildren, they're going to ask you what you did in the summer of decision in Afghanistan to be the company that goes the furthest south. And remember, your measure is not found in how much time you have on this earth, but what you do with the time that you have. Echo Company is going to change history.
In 2009, 4,000 Marines assault Helmand province. Their mission is to pacify the region and eradicate the Taliban for good.
A combined force of some 500 U.S. and Afghan troops took part in the attack. They were met with gunfire, mortars, and rocket-propelled grenades.
The fighting is heavy. Every compound is hostile.
Everybody good? What the fuck? Stop, get down! Hey, where's it coming from? They're camping the trees to the right of the compound. Yeah. And they're on the left side. Let's go, they're hitting the top of that building. Firepower down. Hey, I'm moving, don't shoot me. Huh? 6-6. Hey, give me some ground. Give me some ground.
As the Marines battle at Garmsir, in the chaos, Lance Corporal Seth Sharp is hit.
Letter King! Down! I'm the 8 letter team. On the east side. I'm the now. Hug the fucking tree line and get to me. Let's go. He's bleeding the fuck out. Sharp. Come on, Sharp. Come on,
Marines
Sharp.
rush to provide aid.
Let's go. Come on, Sharp. Come on, baby. Sharp. Come on, Sharp. Hurry up! God damn it. Let's go. Let's go. Where's the litter? Where's the fucking litter? They're coming. Sharp. Back to the DOD. Where am I carrying him? Grab one. Let's go. Watch back. Bring it back to the DOD. me out. Help me out. He's on the fucking. Let's go. Where's your stuff? Pick him up. Pick him up. Pick him up. Hey, got it. Y'all shut up. Let's go, Jets. Guardian, Lieutenant. Move. Move over to the side.
They call the medic back, but Sharp doesn't make it.
Secure the thing.
Officials say a U.S. service member died Tuesday from injuries he received in an IED attack in western Afghanistan. His death comes after 7 other U.S. service members were killed in Afghanistan in 3 separate attacks on Monday. 3 other ISAF troops were also killed Monday in a helicopter incident. The Taliban have been increasing their attacks as U.S., NATO, and Afghan forces push deeper into southern Afghanistan.
The most dangerous thing right now is the Taliban put in roadside bombs or improvised explosive devices. Pretty much that is our main concern now, since the Taliban is either gone, but we believe that they're hiding and observing us. And whenever we're not out, they're out putting their IEDs all over the place.
NATO officials say the latest coalition offensive has secured a stable stronghold in the southern province of Helmand.
Elsewhere in Helmand, Marines are fighting in Sangin. Despite only 1,000 Taliban fighters occupying the city, the Marines are in a deadlock.
Bloodiest place in all of Afghanistan.
So we're just running patrols out, making acquaintance with the locals, establishing a basic friendship, letting them know that we're not here to hurt them, that we're here to provide them with security. Also, we're working with the Afghan National Army so that we can all work together to accomplish the one mission.
Most casualties are caused by homemade bombs, IEDs.
All it takes is just the slightest stumble off a cleared path, and we end up, with dead Marines.
With IEDs, it's all luck. I've been really lucky. I haven't stepped on one, and a couple people have just stepped in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Come here! Get down! Where you hit at? My fucking leg! Oh, fucking hit! Oh! That's how it's going. Hold on! What the fuck? I got you, boy. I got you. Roger, this is 3-1. It's Doc Morrison, right leg. Arterial.
These bombs set off remotely, usually signal an ambush.
I had a Marine that was killed a couple days before his son was born. So that was a low point for sure. Having kids of my own.
I hate going in alleyways, choke points, intersections. Mostly every intersection we've ever been in we've either found IEDs or been hit by IEDs, and pretty much scares the crap out of you.
I have to get on the other one.
You doing good?
Anybody hit? Anyone hit?
Comanche 9-2, or X-ray 9-2. I think we just hit an IED. I'll copy. Advice just had a IED go off at our TCP location. I'll copy. Hey, do we have a casualty? Yeah. Hey, Comanche X-ray, Comanche 9-2. Roger, we have a casualty at this time. Thomas, you're gonna be all right, bud.
All right, Tommy, just going stress, all right? Okay. Where was it? Doc, what are you gonna do?
Almost 900 service members will die due to IEDs, almost half of the total casualties in Afghanistan. The offensives in Helmand resulted in a partial victory, but often led to prolonged, intense combat, such as in Sangin and Marja. The insurgency has simply moved elsewhere, with Taliban fighters frequently returning after initial clearing operations.
Definitely the most difficult tour I've done. The Taliban are still here. Where's on the Marines?
stations. Target secure. Target secure.
Geronimo. For God and country. Geronimo.
Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda, and a terrorist who's responsible for the murder of thousands of innocent men, women, and children.
Crowds marched in the streets around Ground Zero to celebrate the killing of Osama bin Laden. Among them, Army Captain Patrick Dowdell, just back from Afghanistan.
I'm proud of the guys that were willing to go out there and take care of business.
It's a great hour for USA, great day for USA.
Now that he's finally dead, it feels good.
Michael Carroll lost his father, a firefighter, on 9/11. He says bin Laden's death won't ease his pain, but it does bring some closure.
To feel excited about somebody's death is a weird feeling, but when it comes to him, it's all right.
Just how many? It's the subject of fierce debate in Washington, where Democratic leaders want to withdraw more troops than the Pentagon recommends.
The calls from politicians and pundits in Washington for a substantial and rapid drawdown of U.S. forces echo only faintly in the rugged mountains of eastern Afghanistan. Soldiers and Marines, from top generals to frontline troops, worry that much work remains to be done here.
I could see people here past 2014. So it'll take a while for the Afghans to really build the capacity enough that they can do it on themselves.
Indeed, the price of that decade of war has been steep. More than 1,500 Americans killed and nearly $500 billion spent. And polls show an increasingly weary American public, with 56% in the latest Pew survey ready to withdraw U.S. troops as soon as possible.
In 2015, the ISAF ends combat operations, taking a security role focusing on training Afghan troops.
The war in Afghanistan has dragged on for 17 years. Previous attempts to end the fighting through diplomacy have failed. But over the past week, high-level officials from the United States and the Taliban have been meeting in Doha. They've made significant progress in hammering out an agreement to start the process of ending the war.
Peace talks between the United States and the Taliban stall, but by 2021, they have finally reached a decision.
I cannot promise what the final outcome will be, or what it will be, that it will be without risk of loss. But as Commander-in-Chief, I can assure you that I will mobilize every resource necessary.
All U.S. troops will be out of Afghanistan by the end of next month. That is despite the Taliban gaining major ground across the war-torn country.
Across the country, districts are falling to the Taliban like dominoes. As U.S. forces head for the exit and militants inch ever closer to the capital,
The likelihood there's going to be the Taliban overrunning everything and owning the whole country is highly unlikely.
In less than 3 months, the Taliban capturing nearly every major district outside Kabul.
While some have described it as a new day dawning in Afghanistan, others have said the same Afghanistan from 20 years ago is about to reemerge.
Kandahar is a strategically vital city for the government. It's also the spiritual birthplace of the Taliban.
It is now one of their biggest targets as U.S. troops withdraw from the country. The Taliban offensive is clearly intensifying.
Now, nearly half of Afghanistan's 34 provincial capitals are under direct threat from the Taliban. 3 of them are under siege.
The Taliban quickly retake lost ground. At Kandahar, a ragtag group of Afghan commandos and policemen are the last line of defense.
the terrorist group has taken control of the city of Kandahar. That is the second largest city in the country and the 12th provincial capital taken by the Taliban.
The commandos make a deal with the Taliban. They will lay down their arms for safe passage out of the country.
The security situation continues to deteriorate in Afghanistan. And as I said before, our troops will, as always, have the right of self-defense. But this is a narrowly focused mission to help with to help safeguard an orderly reduction of civilian personnel.
The Pentagon is sending troops to Kabul to help in the partial evacuation of the U.S. Embassy. The State Department and the Pentagon have confirmed the deployment of some 3,000 troops as the Taliban continues its offensive.
The Pentagon confirmed only 2 flights have taken off after a backlog of refugees grounded planes for about 8 hours.
As the Americans withdraw, Kabul airport is flooded with civilians desperate to flee Taliban rule. 3,000 Marines deployed to gain control of the situation. The Afghans are flooding through 3 gates, Abbey Gate being the most contested.
We got off the bus, we got told to get to Abbey Gate and help out. We run up and we start pushing the Afghans so we could close the gate. We had help from the British Marines to try and do riot control.
Thousands of civilians wait to get through. However, only women and children and Afghans with select passports are allowed through.
They started throwing babies over the fence wall. We were able to catch some of them. Like the ones that didn't, they just died. 13, 14 feet high with barbed wire. There was a fuck ton of babies, and I remember you see this Marine trying to get a baby out of the barbed wire. Some just would go right over, and I remember seeing this baby fly and just land on the floor, and it just stopped crying.
The situation is desperate, forcing the Taliban and the Marines to work together to gain control. On top of the humanitarian disaster, threats of a suicide bomber grow by the day.
Where are you going? Where are you going? We don't know what you're saying. English. Those? Stand by the car. What about you?
All of a sudden, I feel like I got pushed and my ears are ringing. I'm just looking straight ahead of me and I noticed flashes. Saw a guy shooting at me. Shot back. And he just eats shit.
An ISIS suicide bomber attacks Abbey Gate. In the chaos, Taliban and Marines open fire on each other. The Taliban are quickly killed. Fearful of another attack, the Marines continue to fire indiscriminately into the crowd, harming innocent women and children. 13 Marines and over 100 Afghans die in the August 26th attack.
They scanned the canal real quick, and there's just pieces of people and people floating, and the canal was filled with shit at first, and then it was all just blood. It looked like everybody was just dead around me.
All this flood of fucking people, bloody as fuck, missing arms, mom holding her baby that got ripped to shreds.
After the bombing, the U.S. closes down all gates. No more civilians are allowed through. On August 30th, 2021, the last American plane leaves Afghanistan. The longest war in U.S. history is over.
All U.S. troops have officially left Afghanistan. They have now ended America's longest war. The Taliban now have full control of Kabul's airport, while the State Department leads ongoing efforts to evacuate Afghan allies and any remaining Americans who wish to leave the country.
The Marines and the soldiers that we lost were absolutely unnecessary. Why were we there? What was it for?
Frankly, we're frustrated because our lives were affected forever. And if you look at the end results, we don't feel like we made any difference.
Everybody cries, everybody dies. It's the truth that makes us one. It's the center of our sun as we take the lonely path on the road to the edge of man. Beneath the darkening sky, we curse and wonder why, as fear wakes up the beast and the devil comes to feast, and we sink in mortal sand on the road to the edge of man. Who will be the last to die in a land where empires cry? Who will be the last to remain where there's only God and pain? There's nothing more brave than those voices from the grave. Only they can tell us why. Only they will never lie about the reason that we stand on the road to the edge of man. Who will be the last to die in a land where empires cry? Who will be the last to remain where there's only God and pain? They warn us of the lie with a mournful battle cry of the reckoning at hand as we reach the edge of man and make our final stand. There's nowhere